Hello everybody. Welcome to today's lecture from chapter 1 to chapter 4 and lectures first and second. Today we will talk about. Whew, I've been doing this 3 times already. But today we will talk about media industries and the fascinating theories that explain their evolution and impact on the society. First, let's establish what we mean by media. Media are the technologies that facilitate communication between a sender and a receiver. From ancient books to modern streaming platforms, media have played central role in shaping societies. But media is not just about technology. It's about how society interacts with these tools. There are two main types of communication facilitated by media. Interpersonal communication, think of this as direct two-way exchange like chatting face-to-face or texting. And mass communication, this involves broadcasting information to a large, often anonymous audience like TV news or a viral TikTok video. So where does the internet fit? Well, it's both. It's interpersonal when you are DMing a friend, but mass communication when you post a YouTube video. Now, let's explore some foundational concepts in media studies. Structure versus agency. This is a tug of war between the societal systems that shape behavior, structure, and individual free will, agency. For example, media genres constrain creativity, but individuals can still innovate within those boundaries. Social construction of reality. People create society through their interactions, but over time, these social norms feel natural and influence our behavior. Media plays a huge role in shaping this reality. There's a big debate in media theory about what drives change. Technological determinism says technology itself causes societal changes. For example, Gutenberg's printing press revolutionized knowledge sharing. And social constructionism, on the other hand, argues that human choices shape how technology is adopted. For instance, the internet interactivity depends on how users engage with it. Marshall McLuhan, a key figure in medium theory, famously said, "The medium is the message." He argued that it's not just the content that matters, but the characteristics of the medium itself. For instance, TV shapes how we consume information differently than books, emphasizing visuals and entertainment. Tim Wu's cycle of innovation explains how media industries evolve. The cycle has 4 stages. Innovation and disruption, new technologies shake up old industries, like Netflix disrupting cable TV. Growth and open access, the technology becomes widely adopted. Consolidation and monopoly, few companies dominate like Google and Facebook today. Regulation or decline, governments or users push back seeking balance. Media isn't just about communication though, it's a massive business. Ownership concentration, like Disney portfolio of movies, TV, and streaming platform, raises concerns about diversity in content. Economically, advertising drives much of the media industry, shaping what gets produced politically. Media regulation influences what we see and hear, balancing free expression with societal norms. In the digital age, convergence is key. Media forms like text, sound, and video now overlap. Social media platforms blur the lines between producers and consumers, with algorithm playing a powerful role in shaping content. But this raises questions about privacy, fake news, and the impact of big tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. Media has always been dynamic though, and influential force. So let's dive into the second part where we're going to see a little bit deeper into everything. To truly understand media today, we need to look back at its evolution. Let's explore the major milestones. First, print media, 800 AD. The first books were printed in China using wood blocks. Later, Gutenberg printing press in the 400s democratized knowledge, fostering individualism and the Protestant Reformation. Second, the telegraph, 1840s. This invention revolutionized long-distance communication, enabling near-instantaneous messaging. Third, radio and film, Early 20th century. This media force brought mass entertainment and information to global audiences. Fourth, television. Mid 20th century, TV brought moving images into homes, changing family dynamics and consumer culture. 5. Digital media, obviously. 21st century. Today, media is ubiquitous, interactive, and convergent, blurring the boundaries between formats. Mass media doesn't just inform, it teaches us societal norms and values. Let's break this down. Media shapes what we consider normal, from gender roles to cultural ideas. This aligns with the concept of social construction of reality, where people create social norms and the later seem objective. Example, media once depicted traditional family structures exclusively. Today we see more representation of LGBTQ+ families reflecting shifts in societal norms. One of the most fascinating dynamics in media studies is the push and pull between structure and agency. Structure refers to recruiting patterns and constraints like economic pressures or genre conventions. Agency is the freedom of individuals to make independent decisions. For instance, a filmmaker might innovate with a unique style, agency, but still work within the expectation of Hollywood commercial system, structure. This tension fuels creativity and change in media industries. Earlier, we introduced McLuhan, medium is the message, but let's add another perspective. Postman's critique of television in A Music Ourselves to Death, 1985, Neil Postman argued that television undermines rational discourse, favoring entertainment over serious debate. This critique remains relevant with today's media, where sensationalism often takes precedence over substantive content. Let's talk about the internet, arguably the most transformative media platform of our time. It combines characteristics of all the new media: text, audio, video, and interactivity. However, the internet also raises questions about privacy, fake news, and the concentration of power in big tech companies like Facebook and Google. One key concept here is technological momentum, which suggests that as technology matures, it becomes harder to alter or resist its influence. Think of how social media algorithms now shape public discourse. Media isn't just cultural, it's economic. Let's examine the major forces at play. Conglomeration and interrogation. Companies like Disney dominate through vertical integration, owning production and distribution, and horizontal integration, spanning multiple media types. This creates synergy but also raises concerns about monopolies. Advertising. Media content is often shaped by advertisers' preferences. For instance, news outlets may avoid stories that could alienate wealthy advertisers. This aligns with the idea that media users are the products being sold to advertisers. Globalization. Media giants export their content worldwide, influencing local culture while raising fear of cultural imperialism. Jean Baudrillard introduced to the concept of hyperreality, where the line between reality and representation blurs. Think of reality TV or theme parks like Disneyland. They create a real experience that is entirely manufactured. Similarly, Daniel Boorstin pseudo-events are events created purely for media coverage, like political press conferences or celebrity stunts. These examples highlight how media often creates its own reality. Platforms like YouTube, Netflix, and Spotify are reshaping the media landscape. Key points to include user-generated content. Platforms rely heavily on content from their users, shifting power dynamics in content creation. Algorithms. These dictate what we see. And regulation. Governments are grappling with how to regulate platforms, especially in areas like data privacy and misinformation. Also, let's go back to Tim Wu's cycle of innovation, because it also explains how media evolves. Innovation disrupts existing systems like streaming did to cable TV. Growth sees the technology gain. Consolidation happens as a few dominant players emerge, and regulation or decline often follows as users and governments push back against monopolies. So we've journeyed through the history, theories, and economics of media industry, and right now I just want to again say the main points of our first few lectures, so we really remember them. Socialization, the process whereby we learn and internalize the values, beliefs, and norms of our culture, and in so doing, develop a sense of self. Social construction of reality, the process of shaping reality through social interaction. While reality exists, we must negotiate the meaning of that reality. Social structure, any recurring pattern of social behavior. And agency, international and determined human action. Second one is technological determinism, an approach that identifies technology or technological developments as the central cause element in process of social change. Medium theory, the body of literature that focus on their technological aspects of media beyond their content. Pseudo-events, events planned for the express purpose of producing dramatic images that can be disseminated or reported. Hyperreality, that which has gone beyond the real, supplanting or erasing it. And social constructionism emphasizes the social construction of technology, focusing on the role of active human agents in ultimately determining how technology is developed and used. Thank you for listening today. You didn't expect it, but there's a third part because I forgot to read out a part, so now I had to redo it. And, well, we're unpacking some key concepts in the media industry. Conglomeration, integration, and regulation. We'll explore how these forces shape the content we consume, the platforms we use, and the pipes that deliver it all. Let's get started. First, let's talk about horizontal integration. This is when a company owns various types of media across industries like movies, TV networks, music labels, and merchandise. Why is it important? Because it enables cross-promotion using one type of media to promote another, for example. A movie release often includes a soundtrack, merchandise, and even video games all owned by the same parent company, like Wicked right now, or Barbie. Historically, media relied on the idea that content is king, but today, owning pipes, the infrastructure for delivering content, is equally crucial. Successful companies now combine content, pipes, and the platforms in a vertically integrated strategy. In the internet era, media companies have evolved to take on three key roles. Products, the content we consume, like movies, articles, and shows. Platforms, the sites or services hosting and disrupting this content, such as YouTube or Spotify. And pipes, the infrastructure like cable or satellite systems that deliver the content to our devices. Most companies now blur these lines. For instance, traditional mass media companies like Disney produce content, host platforms like Disney Plus, and manage distribution channels. This integration is critical for controlling both the message and its delivery. Conglomeration. So conglomerates are they are made up of a number of different companies, all owned by the same corporate parent. Conglomeration. So conglomeration makes media production more efficient, but sometimes with significant consequences. Synergy. Conglomerates leverage their different divisions to create products that would be impossible otherwise. For example, a TV show might spawn merchandise, movies, and even theme park attractions. Decreased competition. Smaller media companies struggle to compete with these giants. And potential for political influencers. Conglomerates can shape public discourse by amplifying specific agendas. For instance, they might prioritize certain political perspectives while sidelining others. But this doesn't mean all media is uniform. While dominant ideas are widely visible, alternative viewpoints often find smaller, less prominent outlets. As Ben Bagtikian highlighted in The New Media Monopoly, just 5 global firms dominate the US media landscape. Companies like Disney, Facebook, and Google hold significant shares across products, platforms, and pipes. This phenomenon, known as media consolidation, has transformed the industry. Ownership concentration means fewer voices control more of what we see, hear, and read. It also creates barriers for smaller firms to compete, reinforcing the dominance of these conglomerates. Advertising is a key revenue source for media companies, but it also shapes content in subtle ways. Media companies often avoid controversial topics to ensure they don't alienate advertisers. News outlets shift focus to lighter content like sports or fashion to support ad sellers. This creates a cycle of self-censorship where stories are softened or omitted entirely to maintain advertisers' relationships. Let's examine how competition has affected traditional media. Network television, as audience moved to streaming platforms like Netflix, network faced declining revenue. To cut costs, they've shifted to cheaper programming like reality shows and game shows. Printing news media, digital competition has forced newspapers to cut budget, reducing foreign bureaus and investigate reporting. Sensationalism and celebrity news, that we call the Hollywoodization of news, has become more common because it sells better. Media pluralism refers to the diversity of content available to audiences. It's vital for democracy because it exposes us to different perspectives. A diverse media landscape acts as a watchdog for government and corporation, holding them accountable. However, the homogenization hypothesis suggests that concentrated media ownership leads to uniform content. For example, where corporate voice ideas align with corporate interests often becomes the dominant narrative, sidelining other perspectives. Vertical integration occurs when one company owns all aspects of production and distribution. For instance, Netflix produces original content, Stranger Things, and controls its distribution via its platform. For strategy allows companies to dominate the market while keeping profits in-house. Media regulation aims to ensure diversity and protect public interest. Here are key areas. Ownership regulation, preventing monopolies to ensure a variety of voices and viewpoints in the market. And content regulation, laws like the Fairness Doctrine in broadcasting promote balanced coverage by requiring opposing views. Regulation becomes especially crucial if developing countries where cultural imperialism, domination by foreign media, threaten local cultures. Government often intervene to support indigenous media industries. Platforms like Facebook and Google are reshaping the media landscape. While they claim to be neutral platforms, they proprietary algorithms significantly influence the news we see. For example, Facebook is the top source of political news for millennials, and Google personalizes content to maximize user engagement. So, from conglomerates shaping content to the challenges of regulation, the media landscape is both dynamic and complex. Thank you for listening. This was actually the last part. I'm so happy it's done. See you next time.